Land of the Rising Sun. Due to their cultivation of traditions and connection to ancestors, this country is filled with stories of hauntings or paranormal occurrences. Here I will be presenting the top 10 haunted places in Japan. Number 10. Camp Hansen in Okinawa. Camp Hansen is a United States Marine Corps base located in Okinawa. Inside the compound there exists a gate called simply Gate 3, where numerous reports have been made to the point where no soldier wanted to be stationed there. Reports say that every weekend a ghost of a soldier dressed in a uniform from World War II would come to the gate, covered in blood, with a cigarette hanging from his mouth, ask for a light and then disappear. Some soldiers claim to have conversed with the apparition. As a result, the gate has been closed permanently. Number 9. SSS Curve in Okinawa. Name is derived from the shape of the pathway. One Japanese forum claims that several soldiers lost their lives there, while other people believe it has to do with self-harming practices of a certain sect. It has been said that the place is filled with psychic energy. Visitors to the site have reported feelings of intense nausea, dizziness, vomiting, and even hallucinations. One man even said he felt a ghostly hand rest on his shoulder when walking through the woods. Number 8. Akasaka Mansion in Tokyo. This luxury hotel is considered as one of the scariest to spend your time in, though most say that it's just building number 1 that is haunted. There have been complaints of seeing apparitions standing in the suit, mist all over in the air, sensations of being stroked, appliances turning on and off by themselves, and a guest getting frozen while in their sleep. And once there has been a complaint from a lady about being dragged and having unexplained scratch marks on her back the next day. Number 7. Hanging Ruins in Osaka. Here lies burned remains of a 4-story building. It's said that back in 2005 an employee of a spa once saw a life-size doll that was hanging from the rafter, but later it appeared as a real dead body. Another variant of the story says that it looked like a big strange object. An employee called the authorities to investigate, who have found out that it was in fact a corpse. On the scene was also a mysterious pair of shoes hanging next to the body. Eventually, people started hanging shoes on the building themselves in response to all of the various stories. Number 6. Battleship Island near Nagasaki. Hashima or Gunkanjima is an abandoned island off the coast of Nagasaki. It was built to access undersea coal mines in the late 1800s, but over the years it made less and less economic sense, and in 1974 operator Mitsubishi Mining abandoned the site. The last inhabitants left the island in 1974, and in 2015 the island became part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 5. Oiran Buchi in Yamanashi. Despite surrounding its beauty, legend has it that a long time ago 55 prostitutes were murdered in the area. People claim that they can sometimes see ghosts of women near the river. Area, while beautiful, gives out eerie and uneasy feeling to anyone passing by. Number 4. The crying Doryodo ruins in Hachioji. Doryodo ruins are ruins of an old temple. Story says that there was an elderly woman who was brutally murdered in the area in 1963. 10 years after, there was another murder, this time of a young woman, supposedly done there by a sadistic college professor who killed her. Another 10 years later, the temple was razed to the ground, but the legend didn't die. It's said today that if you walk past the area at night, you can hear the sound of distant crying. Others have reported feelings of intense sadness or a creeping feeling like they're being watched. Number 3. Round Schoolhouse in Hokkaido. Formerly the Numahigashi Elementary School in Bihai City. This round schoolhouse is said to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. Used since 40s to 60s, became abandoned in the early 70s due to closing of a local coal mine. Reports talk about children going missing in the later years of the school. Stories suggest that anyone who goes inside will either forever disappear or become insane. Number 2. Hakone Yama in Tokyo. Former site of the Army Medical College and Hospital, now housing several medical research facilities, one of which is rumored to have been the training center for the infamous Unit 731. Bodies left over from medical experiments are said to have been secretly buried here, and human bones continue to be unearthed within the park grounds. tailstock of wailing, sobbing and other mysterious voices in that area. If you haven't heard of Unit 731, it was a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army that undertook lethal human experimentation during the Second Sino-Japanese War, 1937-1945, of World War II. It was responsible for some of the most notorious war crimes carried out by Japan. It included infecting POWs, prisoners of war, with various diseases, frequent rapes, and testing reactions to different forms of environment, like for example freezing to death. Human targets were used to test grenades positioned at various distances and in different positions. Flamethrowers were tested on humans. Humans were also tied to stakes and used as targets to test germ-releasing bombs, chemical weapons, and explosive bombs. At least 3,000 men, women, and children, sometimes being a result of rape, have been their subjects. And just like with Nazi scientists, United States have given them immunity in exchange for collected data. Link to the full article is in the description and it's enough for the full episode itself. Number 1. Aokigahara near Tokyo. One of the most popular locations for suicide except for Golden Gate Bridge in United States. Aokigahara is located just outside Tokyo and was dubbed the Suicide Forest. Sources suggest that over 500 Japanese businessmen have committed suicide in there since 1950s, at an increasing rate of between 10 and 30 per year. These numbers have increased even more, with 78 suicides in 2002 and 105 in 2003. Some years ago, the police decided to place a number of signs in the forest in the hopes of curbing the number of suicide attempts. What also adds to the eeriness of this place is the little straw dolls that people use here. It is believed that when you nail a waraninyu on the tree, you can possess the power to curse the most loved person in your life, resulting in turning it into a tragedy. Hope you enjoyed this list. If you know of other stories, go ahead and post them in the comments. Subscribe if you want more of these, and if you're really enjoying this series, you can support me on Patreon. Link is in the description. See you later, guys.